And literally the next day I woke up and something was different. And within 2 days, I was out walking around my house again. There are parts of my house I haven't seen in 10 years, literally.
You were in so much pain in your stomach? Your intestines?
Actually, I had joint pain, hives. I had lesions on my head that are healing now. My system has been so toxic.
Well, they say 70% of the immune system is in the gut, and so if that's messed up, then you just literally, I mean, most skin stuff, dermatologists will tell you, is based in the gut. And look, John Harmon told me today, in fact, John, if you've got the mic hooked up there in Minnesota, we're in Austin, come on and tell folks what you told me today about Oxy Powder.
Sure, I just popped in Alex's ear and told them that I do take the phone calls here at the network, and just influx of callers calling in about the Oxy Powder, just saying, hey, I need to be on the air necessarily, but just pass on the word that that stuff definitely works.
Yeah, folks, we don't sell stuff unless I've had dramatic effects. For a year, groups like, you got to try this. This is my star product. Alex, I'm telling you, I'll private label it for you. This is the best thing I've ever made. Hollywood all uses it. Look at this, look at that. And he goes, Alex, you want to be healthy? You've done this stuff, do this. And I'm just like, you know what, man? I don't want to go on air and pitch something for my intestines. I mean, talk about what it does. But I go, okay, I'll take it. Unbelievable. Started taking it about 2 months ago. Only take it a few days a week. Take like 5 capsules at night. In the morning, just get ready. And my stomach, my mom, I was at my parents' house with the kids swimming Saturday, and my mom walks over and she goes, are you on something? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, you've been working out hard and looking better, but she goes, my God, you look like you're 20 again. Your muscles, your stomach, it's almost gone. What is going on? I said, iodine and Oxy Powder. And I said, I'm scared of this, Ebola, so I'm taking everything now. I'm finally just taking the full amount, not forgetting every other day. And she went, well, I want some of that. And I still don't look that good compared, because I've gotten in bad shape, but I look a lot better. And it's just amazing. I didn't mean to go off on a big jag. We need to send Wayne some of this and see what happens to him. But thank you for that plug, sir. Yes, it's the real deal. InfoWarsLife.com. Sean in Ohio. Sean, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. How are you today?
Good, brother. Go ahead.
Well, I'm calling from Akron, Ohio, as you well know, is the second destination of Amber Vincent. She recently was in the Northfield neighborhood here where we live, visiting family and friends.
Yeah, you're talking about the nurse with Ebola.
Correct. Yeah, she was taking care of, I think it was Mr. Duncan down there in Texas. And, we got some, my wife's a nurse, and, we've been really closely monitoring the situation, as has everyone else here in Akron. But, and there's a lot of things that don't seem quite right, and I've got a list of information here for you. I'll try to run through it as quick as I can.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Basically, there's news that's just come out here locally. I'm not sure if it's national yet, but before, she had treated Mr. Duncan there at the hospital, and she had a conversation with her Reverend Glenn Lorenzo, I do believe, before she even flew up here to Akron, saying that, she was very unhappy with the gear that she was given to wear while she was treating Mr. Duncan, that her
yeah, and then she called the CDC and said, I have a fever. I worked on an Ebola patient. Can I fly? And they said, yeah, go ahead, Cupcake. I mean, none of this sounds right. Keep going.
Yeah, they went ahead and just let her fly, even though she was symptomatic. First they told us here in Akron that, there's nothing to worry about. She wasn't symptomatic as of the day of her flight. And then it came out afterwards that she was symptomatic as early as Friday. So she spent the whole weekend here in our neighborhood, in our stores and everything else. And so, everyone here is a little bit on edge, but, there's been a lot more going on in this neighborhood prior to this.
Well, listen, what's your bottom line so Wayne can comment?
Well, basically the bottom line is that, Metro Health came out recently here, which is a hospital, Cleveland Metro, saying that they are prepared for Ebola. And, Mayor Don Pasquale here in Akron said, no, we are not ready for that. We want them to be, if there are anybody that becomes symptomatic, we'd like them to be shipped out to a proper hospital that can deal with it. Margaret Irma, which is the Summit County Public Health Department spokesperson, said that, they would
Sure, it's in total disarray. I got to jump for other callers, Indigo Kid and others, but, we get the basis of what you're saying. Could this be, Ebola is real in Africa, but could this be a simulant with people that think they have Ebola? As Mr. Steele said from the CIA a few weeks before this broke, that it could be a simulant and something to create panic. What's your take, Wayne Madsen?
Well, we are getting into flu season after all, so people could get confused. But, remember Obama hosted this Africa summit about a month and a half ago, or so 2 months ago. And I said, why in the world would he be having these private executive jets fly these leaders in who won't be going through the normal security checks or customs immigration checks at the airport, because many of them flew into Andrews Air Force Base and others flew into Dulles and went through the VIP lounge there. And and then we had Frieden, this Tom Frieden, the Dr. Frieden, the head of the CDC, say, "Oh, well, Ebola will never be a problem here in the United States. We're not worried about it." And I said, this guy sounds like a quack. And you know what? His job before he was the head of CDC he was Mayor Bloomberg's director of public health in New York. He's the guy who came up with the ban on big sodas. And I mean, can you imagine this guy goes from big sodas to Ebola? I think he should go back to the big sodas and leave the CDC.
A bunch of control freaks. All right, thank you. Indigo Kid and Anthony and Janero, I think is how you say it. Your calls are straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com.
News flash. Home invasions are on the rise. It takes less than 10 seconds to kick in a door. 10 seconds is not enough time to protect your family. And what would happen if you're not home? Easy Armor is the ultimate security solution. 85% of break-ins are through a door. Protect your home now with Easy Armor. Go to InvasionStopper.com to get real security for under $70. That's InvasionStopper.com. Easy Armor. Your security is our only business.
Nanoparasites, termed viruses, infect the iron poison population, for they require a host with iron to replicate. Parasites are propagated via the food and water supply and through vaccinations. Those born after 1945 have the vaccine parasite set to activate now. Due to unprecedented iron intake, officials prepare for pandemics because they know the vaccine parasites are activating on a mass scale. This is the extermination plan, people. For further information, go to unveilingthem.com. UNVEILING them.com. Unveilingthem.com.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million year old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Adam Miller here with Midas Resources. Today, October 15th, 2014, gold opened at $1246.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1292.55, $646.27 for a half-ounce, or $323.14 for a quarter-ounce. That's $1292.55, $646.27, and $323.14.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show. Because there's a war on for your mind.
Indigo Kid, you're on the air with Wayne Madsen, our guest. Go ahead, Indigo. Thanks for holding.
Hey, guys. Well, because Ebola has gone airborne in the sense of these flights from West Africa, I wanted to launch something called Operation Airborne Ebola. And just thinking if people wore the T-shirt I designed or your shirt, Alex, or design their own, just a permanent marker on a white T-shirt, if every time they go and take a flight in the U.S., they wear these anti-Ebola, anti-Obama shirts, It could be a big news story.
They will try to ban you wearing them, and then it'll become a national news story. Everyone should design their own if they don't want to buy one from us. I totally agree with you, and just show how they, and then say, well, wait, you're allowed to fly it in, but I can't wear a shirt saying it? That's a great idea. Wayne Madsen, your take on that?
Well, I just get back to the whole thing with, I don't think we're being told the truth about this. I think Ron Klein has been brought in to basically put an information cone over news coming out.
A snow job.
Yeah, basically, and how many cases? There was a woman who was also projectile vomiting at one of the train stations in Boston. And they tried to say, oh no, she. You got
Nigerians getting off flights, dying in Houston, dying in New York. Vomit everywhere.
Exactly, and I just I'm not buying it. But we're talking about Gary Webb earlier, and I think Gary set the gold standard for shoe leather investigative journalism. I was so happy he contacted me by email, and I never believed he killed himself. I got into a heated argument with somebody who I knew very well. And I worked with this guy who insisted it was suicide, and I was just, I just publicly disagreed.
Yeah, that was the guy with the connection to the CIA.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same guy. But I talked to many other people who said, look, the one thing the movie said is he got out of journalism, but when he called me, he was working for an alternative newspaper in Sacramento, and he was investigating the same company, ACS, for red light camera fraud. But I think he was looking at it. He contacted me because he knew I was looking at them with potential election machine fraud, voting machine fraud. And I think he had other information. I think he had a great career ahead of him.
Oh, they were scared of his name and the fact that he never backed off, never said he was wrong, was being vindicated. They couldn't kill his name, so they blew his head off.
Right. And, I think of guys like Gary Webb and other investigative journalists I've known over the years who are no longer with us. Many, died. They just got old, died of cancer and stuff like that. But I try to emulate these people who were basically my mentors in journalism. And that's why I'm getting ready to go pursue yet another angle on 9/11, because that may be 13 years ago, but I'm not going to give up on that story.
No, great job. I want to do 5 more minutes at Overdrive and finish. Then we'll let you get out of here after doing 2 hours with us. But I want to go to Anthony and Janero and Bill if we have time. But the minute we have left in this hour, folks can visit WayneMadsenReport.com if they want to see really hardcore journalism. And a guy who isn't acting like he knows so many angles. He really is super informed. It is a delightful pleasure to have him on for 2 hours and be able to just hear all the factoids and data he brings up, because I've researched so much of this, and he knows more than I do on so many fronts, and that's a real pleasure to be able to occasionally actually sit at somebody's feet and learn something. That's the true mark of a master as well, is that you want to learn more and know how much you don't know. But Wayne, as we go to break here, people like Gary Webb will be remembered forever for being honorable in the arena, not backing off when they threatened to kill him and his family. He is the example of a real man, a real human, and all those that helped kill him and were part of it and who went along with it, they are a bunch of cowardly people who I don't think belong to this species. Wayne?
Yeah, and the Washington Post, LA Times, and New York Times attacked him. They're still attacking him based on this movie. They should be ashamed of themselves. They are sellout journalists. They're nothing more than stenographers. They're not journalists.
They are absolute just cowards. They have no honor. Back in 60 seconds, take a few final calls in Overdrive. Some stations don't carry it. Infowars.com/show.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
Let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.